Welcome to the Marriage Puzzle Podcast with Julie and Thomas Hobby. We are marriage coaches who help couples with pain points about money, intimacy, and communication go from being overwhelmed to being secure in their marriage.
If this is your first time listening to us, thanks for checking out our podcast. And don't forget to subscribe and leave us a rating and a review. Let's dive into this episode. Hey everyone, thanks for checking out the Marriage Puzzle Podcast. If you're new with us, one of the things that we like to talk about a lot is that marriage is kind of like a three-legged stool, and it stands on three legs that are money, sex, and communication. And if you take away one of those legs, then the stool's going to have trouble standing up. So you've got to make sure you have all three in good working order to keep your marriage in balance. And so we're going to tackle one of those tonight in this episode, and that is going to be money. And we're going to take the next few weeks to cover all of these different topics: money, sex, and communication. And so because we know that money can be such a hot topic in marriages and that it can often be a top cause of divorces, we'd like to tackle this one pretty frequently and try and always be circling back to it and giving as many tips as we can.
Yeah, so before we dive in fully, just a quick family update. We Thomas and Julie here. We have 4 kids. If you didn't know, we have 8-year-old twins and a 3-year-old toddler. And then our 4th child was born in June, and he came almost 4 months early. And so he is 7 weeks old now, but still in the NICU. And we don't know if we're halfway there or halfway done, anything. But it kind of turned our world upside down because he wasn't supposed to be born yet. But
Right.
He's doing okay. And we appreciate the prayers and the messages from you guys reaching out. But we just say that as a quick family update, but also to kind of give context for this episode of money is something that Thomas and I have been passionate about for a while because we didn't do it right in our marriage. We're coming up on 16 years of marriage, but
Next month.
I know, I'm excited. But about 7 years into our marriage is kind of when we had a big wake up call on our finances and hit rock bottom and had to work ourselves out of that. And so we're in a much different, better financial place now.
Much more peaceful.
Yeah, we love helping people through their journeys, but then these things happen, right? Then we have a baby 4 months early who's racking up the hospital bills here, and life can throw you curveballs. And I'm so thankful that we learned some principles, unfortunately, the hard way, and that's why we like to teach people before they get into the same struggles that we were in years ago. But we wanted to kind of just use that family update to say that we're still learning this. We still put these principles in place. You don't just kind of arrive somewhere financially and then you're safe and out of hot water. Yeah. Things still come that are surprises. So, if we tie into our brand, our marriage puzzle, we'll turn over a piece of the puzzle that we weren't expecting it to look like that. And we have to see where that fits. And so yeah, that's why we wanted to talk about money, just because I'm so thankful for some things we've done in the past and things that we're learning now to do to navigate our finances so that money is not a fight in our marriage.
Yeah, and I just want to throw in a small disclaimer that when we say that we have a much more peaceful, understanding with money or agreement with money or relationship with money, that's the word I'm looking for. That's not because after we had our rough spot, we, struck oil or anything like that. And, we've got $10 million sitting in the bank. Yeah, that'd be nice. Then we wouldn't be concerned about any of these hospital bills or anything like that. But, in all of that, basically, we just learned some things about how to manage our money better. And so when we get hit with these curveballs, it doesn't break down our marriage because we know kind of what we're doing to manage our way through that in a much more peaceful way. We can be at peace when these curveballs come, and we just know we're going to get through it on the other side. So I just wanted to make sure there was a disclaimer there that we're still kind of in this financially to still have to learn how to do it right. And it's not just because we have an abundance that we're working from. So
Yeah, so the biggest practical tip that I wanted to talk about in this is something that I think we're so used to doing, Thomas and I. But I told him, I was like, let's talk about this in this money episode, because I don't know if the average couple, if you will, or the people listening do this. And
Right.
so you ready for the big, profound money tip that could save your marriage? Meal plan.
Yeah.
That's what we got. So we literally have a big dry erase calendar on our kitchen wall. And we calendar out our meals on there for the whole family to see, because our 8-year-old boys always want to know what's for dinner. And I do it a month at a time. So I take it off the wall, the dry erase calendar, and I put, okay, it's August started. I put the numbers of August on there, and then what are we going to have August 1st? What are we going to have August 2nd? And I write them. And it takes a while. It's a lot to plan 30, 31 meals or and think about
28
that.
in February.
Yeah, there you go.
That's when you get your break.
But it's so worth the time to do that at the beginning of each month, because then it just goes right back on the wall. And like I said, everyone knows what to, anticipate that night, but it actually has saved us money. So the time we put into planning that out, then I don't have to think about it anymore, but it helps us stay on budget to know what we're going to have each night. And then we order the groceries for that plan on a once a week basis. So you're not just getting groceries on your way home from work or randomly. And we do
every night.
Right. So our rhythm is I plan it every month, once a month, which is only 12 times a year. And then we order groceries once a week.
Yeah. And so I want to say that we probably started actually doing this about, I'd say maybe about 5 years ago. I mean, I'm just kind of trying to think of this on the spot. I don't think we started doing this at that 7-year mark. At that 7-year mark, we hit some low points. We
7
started
years into our marriage,
right.
You're talking about?
Yes.
Yeah.
And we hit some low points in our money and in our marriage, and then we started trying to figure out some things. And I think it took us a couple of years to kind of get around to doing this method. And ever since then, it's been great. And of course, we're not perfect at that either. There are months that we slip up a little bit, but again, like I just said at the top, we have a much more peaceful relationship with money. So we know if we slip up, we're going to be okay. And we just know that it throws off the balance of everything, and we get back on track with this thing. And it really helps us to kind of plan things out.
That's why I think this isn't a new idea. You've probably heard meal planning. I know other moms who are really big into it, even freezer prepping, like cooking ahead of time. But so I think that's when it became popular. We did try it about 5 years ago, but I did it with a digital calendar. So I put it, on the calendar that's on our phone. So we knew every night what we were thinking we were going to eat, but it wasn't successful because I hadn't planned the groceries for it.
Right.
So you could say, okay, we're going to have spaghetti. It looks like, it's Monday night. We're going to have spaghetti, but I didn't buy the spaghetti sauce, or noodles. And so what are we going to do? So we were still kind of going day by day, even though I thought I had planned it. And that's why I went to a dry erase board to plan out the whole month. And then that way, even if you want to talk about roles and responsibilities in your marriage, which is a topic we do at marriage coaching, so I know that's really big in marriages. Practically, like I do the plan of the meals on the calendar, but Thomas usually is the one that orders the groceries every week,
right?
According to that plan,
right. And I want to say if we're in 2022 and we started this about 5 years ago, that was 2017. Grocery ordering really got big around the time of COVID, and it was just starting to kind of come out before that, but that's when it really ramped up for the whole entire world. And so that really helped us. So we were a little bit ahead of the technology available that was really going to make this work for us. But the key thing is that we order our groceries online. This is the key thing for us. We order our groceries online, and this does a few things for us. We're able to get exactly what we need. We all know the feeling of going through the grocery store. We're hungry, we're trying to get the food we need for dinner, and then you start picking up all the extra stuff that you don't need just because it looks good because you're hungry. And so we're able to get exactly what we need when we're ordering online. That doesn't mean we don't ever go off the list a little bit, but it helps us stay on the list a lot more because we're able to see the subtotal adding up in the cart as we go. So that lets us stay on budget. And if we ever put some of those things in the cart that we don't need and it starts pushing us over the budget, we can take those right back out pretty easily. And then it also allows us to check what we have in our fridge or pantry. We also all know the feeling of needing to go by the grocery store on the way home from work. But while you're at the grocery store, you're like, do we have ketchup at home? I'm not sure. Let me just grab another bottle. Well, get home and you find out you have 3 bottles of ketchup because you've done that 3 weeks in a row.
Right.
And you just forget. And it's okay. But then you're just kind of
Overspending.
having money sit on your shelf.
Things expire.
Yeah.
Or the buy one, get one free get me all the time because I'm like, oh, I'm saving money. And sometimes that is good. Okay. Don't get me wrong. But I personally, when I go into the store, I buy all the buy one, get one frees. And it's stuff that we didn't need. Right. It's, extra sweets or extra things that we normally don't get in the week. So if it's something that is on your regular monthly meal plan, and it's on sale, then you can switch around. That's why I like the dry erase and say, oh, actually, we're going to have this meal because it was on sale. We'll change it here next week. But ordering online has helped stick to what we should be getting and not persuaded by the things that are on sale or look yummy at the time.
Yeah, and another tip in this kind of ordering meals and meal planning is we always like to have a couple of our favorite go-to just simple meals on hand. These can be frozen meals or whatever works for your family, but something that is simple for you to just pull out and make really quickly. Having these on hand will help us in the event of like a schedule hiccup. One or both of us gets hung up at work a little bit later and we're not going to be able to make the meal we had planned because it's going to take too long to cook. We can still have something on hand to swap out, and then like you said, just change the dry erase. We had this instead, move that meal that we were planning on to next week, and now that saves us a little bit of planning for next week. So I think that's a huge little tip in there, is just don't lock yourself into just the 7 days of meals. Have a couple of things that you can substitute in for those just in case nights, and that'll help keep you from going out for convenience. When you run out of time, you're going to be like, we have to go out to eat.
But that's the last tip of why we want to encourage you to do this type of meal plan, or however it works for you, is just plan to eat out. You don't have to just stay home and cook every night, but right. You're planning what night you're going to eat out, and then you can budget for it. Mm-hmm. So that's when, if you're like, oh, I thought we were going to have spaghetti, but now I have to stop by the store. If we're going to take the time to stop by the store, I can just do takeout.
Right.
Which is a lot more money than just picking up stuff for spaghetti, right. By the way. But we do eat out still. Yeah. But it's on the board of when we're going to eat out. And like I said, the kids know that. And even in this time with a baby in the NICU, people have blessed us with like DoorDash cards and Uber Eats gift cards and things like that. And we'll still plan on when we're going to do that on those nights that we're just like running from hospitals to work to pick up the other kids. We plan, and that has helped us stay on budget. It's helped us with communication too, and less fights around, if you're like, well, wait, where did the money go?
Right.
We ate all the time. We're just then fighting, and it's just a fight you don't need to invite into your marriage.
Exactly. And with that, we wanted to give you one final tip that might be helpful to you, because what we've been talking about in this episode is something that really helped. The meal planning really helped us stabilize our finances in our marriage, but there was a point in time where we just needed that kind of shock to our finances. We needed something to kind of push a quick reset button. And so what we did one time was we decided to make a goal for ourselves to go 30 days without eating out at a restaurant. And so we were able to accomplish that, and that gave us a really big reset button on our finances. It kind of thrust us in towards this meal planning and planning our groceries and things like that. But it also kind of saved us a lot of money in that one season. So we recommend that if you need that reset button, pick a goal. Find a goal that's right for you and your family. Maybe it is no restaurants for 30 days for any meal. Maybe it's just if you feel like that's too unattainable in your season of life, pick something and say, if we eat out 5 days a week, let's take that down to 3. Find something that you can actually accomplish and set that goal and kind of give yourself that financial reset to make that happen for you.
Yeah, we did the no eating out for a month with kids. So that was even extra hard. So if you and your spouse need help with this, we do marriage coaching where money is one of the 8 sessions that we offer, but we also are certified in financial coaching. So we can do a deep dive into your situation there if that's helpful to you. Just take a look at marriagepuzzle.com to schedule a free discovery call with us to go over the packages that are available to you. And you can find us on Facebook and Instagram at Marriage Puzzle. And as always, we look forward to you joining us next week, where together we'll work on marriage one puzzle piece at a time. See you later.
Have a good week.